Our scene opens on the captain lying down on a rugged bed in bandages, unconscious and breathing heavy. We get a glimpse of the previous events playing in the captain's mind. The large aircraft taking off with the captain's family, him reaching out for them. Suddenly, his vision is replaced by a large machine raining a fist down upon him. The captain jolts awake, raising quickly out of bed, only to run into a small metal object which knocks him down again onto the bed. Looking around him, now rubbing the sore on his head, he's met with a dimly lit room, crowded with machinery, filled with the stench of blood. Across the room, a figure caped in blue turns to him and proclaims loudly,
"Ha ha ha ha! Awaken already full of energy!"
The captain, fearing for his situation, starts scrambling for something to defend himself and reaches for an old broom.
"Fear not, young master,"
proclaimed the figure, stepping closer to the captain.
"You are in a safe place. Well, as safe as one can be right now anyway. Now why don't you put that brushing device away?"
The captain hesitantly looks at the figure, who he can now see is a being similar to a man, but unlike anything he's seen before.
Sorry, but what makes you think I can trust you?
Questions the captain nervously.
"That is a fair question, but I've put my trust in you, clearly not restraining you as well as bandaging your wounds. Rest assured, I mean you no harm,"
beams the figure.
"Besides, with what you've been through, it's in your best interest to trust me. You do want what's been taken from you back, don't you?"
The captain, now taking a closer look at the figure, sees a mixture of wood and metal, where flesh should be.
Wait, did you have something to do with those machines?
No. You see,
the figure is cut off.
How else would you know that I've lost something? Tell me, what the hell is going on?
Suddenly, a monitor in the back of the room lights up and begins to move like a snake towards the captain and the figure. A loud sound fills the room.
Silence!
The figure and the captain turn quickly to face the monitor.
You see, Star Warrior, this is exactly why you'd start with introductions. You have much to learn about us mortals if you intend to save them.
The captain's eyes come into focus with the monitor and see a video of a wrinkly old man with a spruce of white hair shooting straight up on his head. The man is wearing a white lab coat, under which is a red button-down shirt.
Greetings, Captain of the Toad Platoon.
The monitor, turning like a head to face the captain directly, begins to talk again.
I am Professor Elvin Gadd, and this over-enthusiastic fool next to you is the warrior in training from Star Road. His name is Gino, and he saved your life.
Gino, now grinning over seeing a more relaxed captain, extends his hand.
"It was the least I could do. Your bravery out on the battlefield was admirable."
The captain reaches for Gino's hand.
You're from that Star Road? But you have a body.
Ah ha ha ha! It's true, I do have a body, and it has a glorious story behind how I acquired it. You see, back...
Gino gets cut off.
Silence!
Screams Egad, the monitor lurching directly in both the captain and Gino's faces.
You boneheads will have plenty of time for stories later. I'm afraid we have a situation that takes precedence.
Egad proclaims worriedly.
"Oh yes!
Pipes Gino.
We need to get you up to speed quickly, Captain."
Gino turns and goes to the back of the room and picks up a vial of blood sitting on the table.
"Do you remember getting blasted with that purple smoke? Well, I had just arrived on the scene when I saw you take that stuff point blank. If you recall, that machine made a remark about your immunity. You see,"
gesturing to the vial,
"while you were passed out, Egad and I have been running tests on your blood and discovered something marvelous. Not only are you immune to the effects of the toxin the machines called monstrification, but your blood cells are actually absorbing the toxins altogether."
exclaimed Gino, as if to demonstrate victory. Egad chimes in.
Yes, and while you were passed out, I took the liberty of subjecting your body to various power-ups, and then drawing your blood and testing the poison on your changed blood, looking for various...
The captain interrupts.
You did what to me while I was out?
Stammers the captain, patting down his body looking for additional injuries.
Yes, we experimented on you like a lab rat for the better of others. Now, if I may, no more interruptions.
Lectured Egad.
As I was saying, we were looking to see if we could get different results with your blood, and we have found a few power-ups that utilize your blood like a bonding agent for different things. Show him, Gino.
Ordered Egad, turning the monitor to face Gino.
"Right. You see the vial I have here? This was drawn from you while you were under the effects of the fire flower. Watch what happens when I do this!"
Gino turns and chucks the vial of blood at a large metal toolbox. The vial shatters and blood is splattered all over the toolbox. Almost immediately, the toolbox begins to smoke, and suddenly the metal begins to melt. The toolbox is quickly turned to a puddle of metal, with a few tools inside melted as well, except for the wooden handles.
Wow, what did you do?
The captain proclaims in shock.
"Nothing,"
Gino states bluntly.
This is just what your blood is doing under the effects of the fire flower.
Exactly.
Egad pipes in.
Due to the unique properties of your blood, it allows it to absorb the compound structure of different things, depending on the power that you're currently under. So far, we have tested 3 different powers on your blood, but we only know of the uses of 2.
Stated Egad matter-of-factly.
The first you saw yourself. The fire flower breaks down most metal compounds of the denser variety. It doesn't seem to affect thin metals like bronze, gold, tin, what have you, but the denser metals like iron and smelted metals like steel,
Gesturing the monitor to the now puddled toolbox.
get liquefied as it's absorbed and then is released at an intense heat. Speaking of which,
Egad now pushing a button, summoning small little droids around the captain and Gino.
we should cool this down before it melts my lab. The second is the super shroom, and this is a race-specific antidote to the poison. I say race, but I really mean you toads. Take a look at this recording.
Egad makes an exaggerated button press, and a small video plays on the screen near his face.
Is that what I think it is?
Stammers the captain.
It is. This is one of your platoon mates who fell victim to the poison, resulting in the blackened, engorged state you witnessed that night. Gino managed to restrain one before the machines collected the others infected, and we had kept him here locked up. But watch what happens when I use your blood with a super shroom on him.
On screen, we see the black toad bound with chains on all fours, twisting and gnawing at his chains like a wild beast. Suddenly, a small spray bottle appears in frame and squirts a few shots on the black toad. A green mist fills the room, blocking the camera's view, and when it clears, a yellow toad lays on the ground unconscious, back to normal. The captain begins hurriedly.
Is my subordinate okay? Where is he now? Can I see him? What happened?
Gino puts a hand on the captain's shoulder.
Easy there. Your mate is fine. We've taken him to a refugee camp in the underground pipe maze where he'll be safe. You should be proud of him. He was only out for a few hours, but he went straight to helping out the other soldiers at the camp.
Wait,
Stammers the captain.
how long have I been out?
About 9 days. You had taken some serious injuries, more than what a simple power-up was going to wake you from.
Gino says comfortingly.
But it hasn't been a complete waste of time either.
He's right. I've outdone myself again.
Beams Egad over the monitor.
While we couldn't get the antidote to work on an infected female Goomba we caught a few days prior to your incident, I've developed a weapon for both you and Gino to help combat this threat.
Gino walks past the captain to the other end of the room while Egad speaks.
For Gino, I upgraded his arm cannon to shoot these vials of blood at great distance. And for you,
Gino now retrieving a huge item from the shelf.
a mechanical crossbow, self-loading and fully functional, and you can launch vials upwards of 50 yards with precision.
The captain looks at Gino, who extends out the shiny gold and blue crossbow. Taking a moment to grasp everything just thrown at him, the captain looks at Gino.
I don't fully understand what is going on, but clearly you have a game plan and need my help. But I have to know, where is my wife and daughter?
The captain demands in a calm but direct tone. Gino hangs his head.
I'm sorry, but we don't know. But what I'm about to tell you may be hard to hear, but I'll try to be as clear and concise as possible.
Gino says solemnly, for the first time not with a robust energy.
It started about a month ago. A large energy wave was felt across Star Road. My elders were concerned, but they sent me down to the house of the Mario brothers to check the situation. But when I arrived, Mario's home, Toad Town, and Castle Toadstool were in complete ruin, without so much as a soul in the vicinity. I soon found myself wandering aimlessly searching for an answer when I came upon this lab just outside of Dry Outpost. After getting into contact with Egad, he directed me towards an energy source that was heading north. On my way, I came into contact with several of the large machines, who were easy enough for me to deal with on my own, and took a female Goomba one had captured to a nearby facility where Egad was currently running experiments. The night of your attack, we had been drawn to your city by a huge energy source. I had arrived in time to save you from the first machine, but unfortunately, by the time I caught up with you, you had already been taken down by 2 more. I was able to deal with one of them, while the other fled, but after dealing with the machine, we discovered the energy source had left the city. We're still not quite sure what it is. But a few days ago, another huge energy reading started emitting from somewhere in Dry Desert. So with you still out of commission here, I went out to do some scouting and found some disturbing sights. At Dry Ruins, there's a large compound build just outside the temple. In it, I saw hundreds of toads, Koopas, Goombas, and many other citizens of these parts, and they are being guarded by countless machines at almost every entrance.
Gino pauses for a moment and looks at the captain with sad eyes.
but it is what I saw after that tears me apart. Located just outside the compound is a large pit, full of bodies.
Gino winces from the imagery.
But what's worse is while many of the bodies looked like they were worked to death, there are many with deformations and missing limbs.
Gino stops, choking up at the thought of the many lives lost. Egad breaks the silence.
We don't know what they are doing down there, but my devices are picking up huge readings not only there, but in 6 other locations across the globe. We think those machines are using these citizens to dig for something, but we don't know what yet. As well, we think they are experimenting on those who can't work. There is a chance your wife and daughter could be held here.
Egad grimaces.
So now it is up to us. I believe by using your blood, we can combat these machines and turn back those who have been exposed to their monstrification. So what do you say, Captain? Will you fight the good fight?
Gino and Egad look at the captain expectantly. As the captain ponders the dangerous task being asked of him, he spots the locket on the table beside the bed he was laying in but moments ago. With anger and determination in his eyes, he looks back at Gino and Egad.
Let's make those bastards pay for what they've done.
Fade to black. Sorry, this got out of hand, and there is going to be a climactic part 4. I know there was a lot of dialogue and not a whole lot of ambient detail to this room, and as you can hear, this is even more off script than this usually is. But there's a lot that needed to occur before we threw our depressed hero out onto the battlefield. I'm already working on part 4, which should be the conclusion of the pilot, but if I let this go any longer, I'll never get this one edited. So I'll be working on this until I get part 4 out, which should be sometime early this next week. Thank you for your patience.